I have stock, and to also market my business on social media. Yeah.
Interesting. And now, what's it called? Because your business became quite successful.
I did.
And then, what's it called? Why did you now decide now to stop it? You told me there's a point you decided now to cut off the business.
Yeah. So, when I was working at Inoro, I really thank God for that opportunity because it really gave me a lot of exposure. It really put me at a place where I didn't know I could reach. I was able, even right now, I'm still riding on that fame, by the way. I still have credibility because of that, and I really thank God for that opportunity. So now, I didn't stop running the big business. I first left Inoro. I left media first, and I continued with my business.
Why did you decide to leave Inoro? I'm like, everything was going quite well. You paid quite well. You're in the limelight. Why did you decide to quit media?
Now, 3 years into it, you know how I told you I started feeling like this is it. At some point, as I continued to do it, and when I started loving it and all that, I still felt empty. I still felt a part of me is not fulfilled, is not there yet. And during that time when I was working there, I went through a difficult time in my life. I went through an identity crisis. My parents relocated to a different country. I went through a breakup. I was just sad and broken. And during that time when I was going through that hard time, I decided to go to seek help. I decided to go for therapy. I went for coaching and all that. So when I went for therapy and coaching, I realized, whoa, a lot of things to do with emotions, with mental health, with breakups, with self-awareness is not information that's available out here, especially in Kenya. And so I figured the reason I went through the healing and the reason I went through that difficult time is for me to be able to find my healing, to be able to help other women heal in their own space. So when I went through healing, I realized this is what I want to do for life. Like I felt like I found my purpose. So I started my YouTube channel called Muthoni's Mission to focus on healing, trauma, breakup, self-awareness, loving yourself, dealing with fear, anxieties, and all those things. So when I started that, I realized, wow, this is it. Like this is what I was waiting for all along. So I decided I felt like I would not be able to do it in full-time employment and still doing my business. Something had to give. And so my business was not going to give. Employment would have to give. So it was a hard decision for me because that platform, like I said, really gave me a lot of exposure. It put me out here. So, but I struggled with that decision for such a long time. I saved up, and I remember I wanted to leave beginning of 2020, but then COVID hit. So then I'm here asking myself, so leaving employment now that there's COVID, what happens? How will I survive? But then at some point I had to ask myself, what if COVID continues for a long time? What about the people who are not employed, but they still have been hit by COVID? They're still surviving. So I made a decision to leave.
Interesting. And what are some of the lessons in terms of that particular transition from employment to business? Because I know there are so many people probably at that particular brink. I want to make a jump. What are some of the lessons that you learned about making that jump from employment into business?
You have to know why you're leaving. The why is really important because the why is what will help you go through tough times when they come. You know, because some people just jump into, I just want to resign, and that's it. Then after 2 months, you're back to begging the employer or you're going back to shags, you're going back to the village. So why you're leaving is really important. And number 2, planning ahead, especially financially. They say, it is said by business coaches like you that you need to have like 6 months to up to a year upkeep. Like you need to be able to survive the way you've been surviving in employment the same way. So I knew that and I worked on that part. I knew why I was leaving, and I also knew how you are told this is such a big space, and you know when you leave it, people might forget you, you know, you might never come to the same platform again. But I had to remind myself, I know who I am. So long as I don't forget who I am, so long as I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, that's enough. No, it doesn't matter if people don't see me, so long as I see me and I know what I'm doing. And I took the leap of faith, and I'm glad I did it. Interesting.
So you're jumping from, what's it called, something that you dreamt of for quite a while, you managed to live it now because of a series of, or whatever, you went through this particular element of your life. Now you and after healing, you wanted now to become a coach. So these are also another business that you want to set up, which is very different from who you are. How exactly was it? Because
okay. So now I had fear. Let me say this. I had a lot of fear, and I had fear of unknown. You know that fear, you don't know what's going to happen after. But I really had to call myself to a meeting and tell myself, I don't know what's going to happen, and I have fear of things might fail, but what if they work out? What if this is what I've been waiting for all along? So, and I told myself, the same grace I've had in this channel, in this media house, is the same grace I'm going out with. I'm still the same person, yeah? I can also work towards becoming what I want. So when I started, now I decided, now I am transitioning to now talking about wellness. Initially, it wasn't a business. I just wanted to do it for the love of wanting to help and wanting other women to be self-aware. So I started my YouTube channel. That's what I was doing, and then the focus on my big business, influencer. I had numbers on social media, so I was also going to help push other brands. That was my focus. When I started my YouTube channel, it grew so much. And then after a while, I had, now I have left employment. Now this is me on YouTube, selling wigs and influencing. After a while, I started getting a lot of questions, and a lot of people even actually wanted me to help them, even before I became a coach. And I also had some therapists and some counselors telling me, Muthoni, you need to monetize what you're doing. You're giving a lot of information here. Just go to school and do this professionally. And that's when I decided to do it professionally, and to go get certified, and for the confidence part, you know, imposter syndrome is real. So when I went to school, I got certified, and now I became a full-time coach.
Interesting. So it's quite like going through, what's it called?
Metamorphosis.
Yes, like a